So chapter 5, we start in chapter 5 in a pre-calculus book because that's where trigonometry starts. So basically we have, most of this you don't need to know. I'm just going to point out the things that you do. So two angles that add together to make, so you can see that if you have alpha and beta and you put those two angles together, what you have is a right triangle. Those two angles are called complementary. If you have two angles that add together to give you 180, they're called supplementary. An acute angle is smaller than 90 degrees. An obtuse angle has an angle that's larger than 90 degrees. Now, in trigonometry, we'll see when we start looking for angles, we will always have an initial side, and believe it or not, the initial side will always be right where this says. It'll be to the right, and it'll be, this we would call 0. And whenever we move, hold on, so if we move in this direction, it's the positive direction. If we move our angle in this direction, it's negative. Okay? So we'll get to that soon, but just as a quick statement. Positive is counterclockwise, negative is clockwise. All right, so whenever you're converting between the decimal degrees and degrees, minutes, seconds, basically what you're saying, and this would be a calculator problem, by the way. We're not going to torture you with the calculator thing. When you need a calculator will show up. Hold on, why am I not? Hold on. Let's try again. I'm not sure why. My pen is acting weird. Give me 1 second. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. So let's say we start out with 61 degrees. Yeah, it's still acting weird. Oh, technology. Give me 1 sec. Okay, 61 degrees, 18 minutes, Just trying to figure out why I'm having a problem writing, because usually I don't. $18 minutes, 45 seconds. Okay, let's see how this goes. What we want to do is we want to make it decimal. So 61 degrees is going to be 61 degrees. So what I'm trying to say is, in the end, I wanted to say 61 point something. Okay? So I don't have to convert. 61 degrees is always going to be 61 degrees. But what we're going to do is we're going to say 18 minutes. And whenever I do conversions, what I want to do is I want to use dimensional analysis. So if you don't know what dimensional analysis is, that's okay, but you use it in chemistry, you use it in physics, you use it all the time, which is really just a matter of changing your units. So how many people know what I mean when I say dimensional analysis or changing units, working with units? Okay. So a good amount of you. It's really, yeah, if you're a chemistry major, you have used it a lot. It's really important. So I'm going to go through it. I'm not going to expect you to know how to do it, but I just want you to know that this is really the way to solve these problems that have, so 1 degree is equal to 60 minutes. Okay? Think about like an hour on a clock, although it's 1 degree. Think about it like an hour. It's equal to 60 minutes. And then 1 minute, just like on a clock, is equal to 60 seconds. Okay? So given that, we know that we can take 18 minutes multiplied by 1 degree is equal to 60 minutes. So why do I do that? Well, what I'm basically doing is converting. For example, here, let me give you, so those of you who don't know what I mean, let's say I have 1 foot, and I want to convert to inches. So what I would do is I would multiply by 12 inches over 1 foot, right? Because 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. It's another way of saying exactly the same thing. So we can basically say, since the numerator is equal to the denominator, it's basically like multiplying by 1. So I can always multiply by 1, right? Now if I get the units in the right place, my feet will cancel with my feet, and I'll get 12 inches, which is exactly what we know it is. 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. If you leave off your units, you have a very good chance of making a mistake by putting the reciprocal in where you need it to be. Instead of 12 over 1, someone might put 1 over 12 because you don't have your units in there. Just remember, if you keep your units correct, they will always cancel. Okay? Is that clear? All right. So now what we're going to do, let me just delete this. Okay. So now I can say that 18 minutes is equal to 18, my minutes cancels by minutes, and this is a calculator problem. So I'll get out my calculator, and I'll say it's 18 divided by 60, which is equal to 0.18 divided by 60 is equal to 0.3. Okay, 0.3. Okay. Now I have 61 degrees plus 0.3 degrees, and then I have 45 seconds, and I want to convert it to degrees, right? So I'm going to multiply by, well, I know that 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. And I know that 60 seconds, and I know that 1 degree is equal to 60 minutes. So now, as you can see, I can cancel seconds with seconds and minutes with minutes, and I get 45 over 3600 which is equal to 0.0125. Is that what you guys are telling me? Okay, so now I add all these up. And I get 61.3125 degrees. So does that make sense to everybody? Does anybody have any questions about this? Okay, so now we're going to take 142.2075. Let me just get a new page. 142. Point 142.2075, and that is degrees. And what we want to do is convert that to degrees, minutes, and seconds. Okay? So we know right away 142 degrees is equal to 142 degrees. We don't have to do any kind of conversion for that. Then what we do is we say, well, 0.2075 degrees. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change it into minutes. So I'm going to say 60 minutes is equal to 1 degree, right? So if I multiply that out, so somebody over there is really quick on the calculator. I'll let you do my calculator stuff. So what's 0.2075 times 60? Calculator person. 12.4. I need it in decimal, so 12.45. So it's 12.45 minutes, right? Sorry. Yeah, minutes. So now I know I have 142 degrees and I have 12 minutes. But I have 0.45 minutes left. Does everybody understand why I'm doing this? Because I'm trying to change it from degrees to degrees, minutes, and seconds. Okay, good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply by 60 seconds is equal to 1 minute. So I'm going to cancel minutes with minutes. I get, what do I get? 4.45 times 6, 27 seconds. So my final answer is 142 degrees, 12 minutes, and 27 seconds. And that's how I change it from degrees to degrees, minutes, and seconds. Okay? Any questions? Again, this is all conversions. Most of 5.1 is conversions. Everybody gets really freaked out about 5.1. It's very simple. Where did the 142 come from? We started with 142. If we're trying to change degrees to degrees, minutes, and seconds, well, the 142 is already degrees. So we don't have to change it at all. Does that make sense? We just have to change the decimal part. Okay, good. We just have to change the decimal part to minutes and seconds.